If you want some FIFA 23 coins, please check out MMOXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're fast, cheap and reliable, and if you use code Rema you can get yourself a 5% discount. I do not like FUT Champions. Let me tell you why. FUT Champions was introduced in FIFA 17 as the main competitive game mode in which you had to play 40 games a weekend. Yeah, it still feels crazy that we actually had to do that. Now, over the past few years, FUT Champions has gone through a lot of changes. To be fair, we've had the removal of monthly rewards to red picks. We've had the games reduced from 40 games to 30 games and now to 20 games, but it's still essentially 30 games, but we'll get onto that. Now, despite all of the changes EA have made to the game mode over the past 6 years, it's still just not good. Now, the reason I don't like FUT Champions as a game mode, first off, is because of the amount of games you actually have to play. More so in the amount of time you actually have to play the games. Now, again, this used to be way worse when you literally had Saturday and Sunday to play 40 games. Yeah, you didn't even have Friday. You had Saturday and it closed Sunday night to play 40 games. So obviously it's got better in that sense since it's been reduced in half and you have an extra day to play the games, but I already know I'm going to get that person in the comments saying, oh, if you don't like it, don't play it. But I don't think some people actually realise how unreasonable it is to expect a lot of the player base to play 20 games on a weekend. Yeah, not even 40, 20. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of games for a lot of people because they don't have the time to play that. I'm fortunate in my life that I have quite a bit of free time to play these games, but I know a lot of people that just do not have the time to do that, and it's completely unfair that EA will release a game mode that is essentially unplayable for quite a lot of people just because they don't have that much time. And getting on to what I said about the 20 games, don't forget you also have playoffs, and people say, oh, you can play this in the week, but it's still an extra 10 games. And my point still stands. Not everyone can play FUT Champions in the week or FIFA in the week, you know, all they really have is the weekend. So there'll be quite a lot of people where they have to play all of their playoff games on the weekend and all of their finals games on the weekend, which is 30 games, so it's no better than the system before. Yes, you can argue that you can play your playoffs whenever you want, but, you know, not everyone can play in the week, like I said. And for those saying if you don't have the time to play it, don't play it, and I'm just asking you, why is that a thing, you know? If it's such a good game mode, if it's such a well-balanced game mode, if it's such a great game mode in principle, it should be good for everybody, like any good competitive game mode. And I know I just called it a competitive game mode, but I'll get onto that in a moment. So yeah, right off the bat, expecting people to play all these games in the week and on the weekend is completely ridiculous. No one should feel like they have to play that many games just to keep up with the game. Like, I'll be honest with you, nobody should feel like they have to play all these FUT Champions games just to have a team that can still be good. Now, I just said FUT Champions was a competitive game mode, and essentially that is a lie. It is not a competitive game mode in the slightest, so let me tell you why. FUT Champions essentially uses random matchmaking, so right off the bat, it is not competitive, okay? You can't say a game mode is competitive and then have random matchmaking. I don't even need to explain why that doesn't work. Like, I could go 20-0 on FUT Champions playing terrible opponents, and then somebody could get 17-3 playing against insanely good opponents, but all that matters is the fact that I've got 20-0 and he's got 17-3. Does that mean I'm better than him now? No, it doesn't, but you'll be tricked into thinking I am better. Now, when FUT Champions was first released, it did actually have something called an ELO system, so when you won a game, that would be +1 ELO, and you could have a maximum of +15 ELO. So essentially, you could be 24-9, that would be a +15 ELO. You could be 19-0, that would be a +15 ELO, because it's capped at 15. But even this wasn't good enough because it was still too random, and it's just got worse because I even think they've removed that now. Now we need to talk about FIFA 23 gameplay in order to put this into perspective on how bad this game mode actually is. Write down in the comments the word yes if you have ever lost a game of FIFA due to something random happening, like a lucky bounce against a terrible opponent, because I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. Now, the reason FUT Champions sucks for this is because if that happens, if you lose unfortunately to somebody that is not very good at the game, There is no way to recover that game. You have lost. And some people will be like, that's football. Yeah, it might be, but it's not really competitive if you're losing to something out of your control, is it? You know, you can't say a game is competitive and then have all this RNG and random aspects which mean it's not competitive because it's based on how lucky you are at times. In a very good competitive game, if I play it against somebody that is better than me, they will probably beat me every single time. When I play against people that are higher ranks than me in Rocket League, for example, they beat me every single time. In FIFA, I quite often lose to people that aren't as good as me because of things like RNG, like my players keep hitting the post, my keeper doesn't make an easy save, my opponent gets a lucky long shot, whatever. And similarly, I'll also win games against people that I shouldn't be beating because I get lucky, so it just doesn't make any sense. I could maybe understand FUT Champions as a game mode if it was that competitive that the better player won every time, so 20-0 ranks were actually warranted, but even so, the matchmaking system isn't good enough for that to be relevant anyway. Now, the solution is something that EA have already found out and implemented, and it's Division Rivals, and I don't understand why they don't just run with this as their competitive game mode, because everything about Division Rivals is better than FUT Champions. In Division Rivals, you are constantly playing against people on your level. You only have to win 8 games a week to get your rewards, and if you are an extremely competitive player, you'll be up in the elite division trying to get your skill rating up against the best of the best in order to qualify for events. Now, you might be saying, you just said this game wasn't competitive, and I said there was lucky aspects, so you can lose 1-off games or even 2-off games because somebody gets lucky, but in Division Rivals, it's more of like an average thing. So although you might get the, one-off lucky result every now and then, over time the better players will still have a higher skill rating. It's partly why in competitive FIFA EA adapted the Swiss format where you can actually lose a couple of games and still qualify for the next stage, because I think even EA realise it's a bit too random in order to be competitive like that. And the last thing is, I don't even think the rewards are that good for FUT Champions. Yeah, it's nice to have them, that's why we all play it, let's be honest, but, a lot of the time it's not really worth it because you'll get 3 terrible red picks, a Team of the Week pack where every player is worthless because everyone's getting Team of the Week packs, and a couple of 100k packs in which you'll probably pack someone that's like 10k because the market is in the mud. I'll be honest, I don't really have a suggestion about this, but I think EA should just scrap this game mode, make Rivals the main game mode, and just add something more casual and fun in the place of FUT Champions. Now, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that because for some reason people really like FUT Champions, but honestly it really just doesn't have a place in FIFA. A tournament style mode that you can just play at any point you want for some rewards would be a lot better, and I'm pretty certain more people would have fun with that. And I just want to clarify that I still play FUT Champions because it does very well on YouTube, I'll be honest with you, and I still like getting some rewards because I like my red picks and stuff like that, but I'll be lying to you if I said I like the game mode because I really don't. That's why a lot of the time I'll just play to 11 wins because I've just stopped caring at this point and I really just don't enjoy FUT Champions that much. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to see if anyone agrees with me because it's something that bothers me a lot about FIFA nowadays. I don't like how FUT Champions dominates Ultimate Team, if you get what I'm saying, and I wish something would change regarding that. But yeah, that's everything for the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it or found it informative, I would appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and make sure you turn on the notification so you do actually get notified when I post a video, otherwise you might not actually know that I've posted. But yeah, that's everything, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and I will catch you all later. Peace.